Hello and welcome back everyone to Heart of the Swarm campaign on StarCraft 2 on Rocket Rabbit Commentaries, and in this episode we'll be going through Supreme. It is Yggdra, his fire-breathing worm. He's very cool looking. And then we have Kraith, the joke. Like seriously, Kraith's fight is a fucking joke. Yes. And then we have Sylvan. Yes, I know it's pronounced.
Lord Souls.
I know Sylvan is how it's pronounced. I don't care. It's Sylvan. Sylvan sounds like a better name any goddamn way. Sylvan is the only really difficult fight that we have here, specifically because she's constantly spawning broodlings. Banelings. And we won't actually get to her fight in this episode because I ended up getting lost doing bonus objectives.
Defend the Leviathan. I will deal with the Pathfinders myself.
Yes, we will. No, but thanks to Dahaka's assistance, because so Supreme is effectively a tutorial mission showing off how powerful Primal Kerrigan actually is. Leap Strike has the ability to kill a majority of weaker enemies on its own. Psionic Shift will just plow through anything that has less than 100 HP, and yeah. We'll also get access to another really cool ability in Mend, and I don't use any of these abilities after this mission. Like, these abilities are actually really good, to be perfectly honest. Specifically Mend. Mend makes Kerrigan a really good support unit. Trouble is that I don't use Kerrigan as a support unit, like with the exception of Wild Mutation. Like, my Kerrigan is all about being on the front line, and ensuring that that the rest of my forces, although are viable and important, aren't exactly the the most important part of my compositions.
Make your peace with your gods.
No, for they have nothing on me. I mean, that's an Arcturus line, effectively. That's not really a Kerrigan line. You're going the wrong way past Gurdet. It's up there.
I am the swarm. I am the swarm.
I have the psionic shift, which absolutely obliterates Zerglings. Wah.
Fool.
What is it this time?
This time you gotta jump over there and then use the psionic shift to kill the rest of the Zerglings.
No time like the present.
Body.
I agree, Miss Kerrigan.
Our conquest makes course.
Get bodied.
We adapt.
So, what's new in the world of Cloud as we attempt to go through Supreme?
Well, not much new going on these days. Kind of wish I could sleep more. I feel like I've been sleeping less than I used to.
I don't wish I could sleep more. I wish I could sleep better. That's my big issue.
Well, like many forms of consumption in life, there is a good moderate way, and there's an immoderate and kind of crashy way.
We adapt.
Alright, here's our first pack leader fight against Yggdra the Worm.
Leader of the broken pack. No.
Is that fear, Yggdra? You do know you never had a chance, right?
Evade the molten rain. But then you can't eat us.
This world is mine. This world is mine.
It's laying eggs. Destroy them.
And yes, if you manage to kill Yggdra's eggs before they hatch, he does not get access to his more powerful Ultralisks. I'm trying to micro my roaches effectively. It's not going as well as it should.
And thanks to Massive Heal, this boss fight will be a relatively simple matter.
Relatively, no. This boss fight is just a simple matter. Like, I know for a fact that Kerrigan with proper micro can actually take down all the pack leaders on her own. And in fact, Sylvan is actually easier if you just bring Kerrigan alone to it. Acid line. And by slaying Yggdra, Kerrigan decides to go all Genki Dama on this shit and absorbs Yggdra's essence. She doesn't get anything from it, sadly.
What is it this time?
Long ago, all the ancient stories told of the Dragonborn could steal the dragon's power.
Yeah, no, sorry, Dahaka Hydralisks.
Our conquest. Quickly, destroy the eggs before they hatch. Focus on the largest ones first.
Yeah, because the smaller ones just have Zerglings in them, and we can, sonic shift through Zerglings, so.
No time.
That's a lot of eggs.
It is a lot of eggs, but they're not actually a threat, so.
Without limit.
Well, now they are.
No, they're just hatching. They're still not a threat. We have mend.
What is it this
We have mend.
retribution? Make your peace.
So yeah, we are gearing up to go fight Kraith. Kraith is honestly the easiest of the pack leaders that we'll be fighting, simply because Kraith's attacks are significantly more telegraphed than they realistically should be.
Present. We are without limit. Our conquest continues.
I should actually have Kerrigan leap over there to collect the Zelnaga relic and then sonic shift through the eggs, but oh well.
I think swapping out Kerrigan's heels for boots also was a nice touch. Makes it a bit more versatile of a fighter. Not to mention that she's moving at, well, I mean, no lady should be running around with heels on.
Yeah, heels suck.
What is it this time?
mean,
I do not
break
speak
them,
from
you
experience
trip,
for the
you hurt
record,
yourself.
but heels, as far as I have been made aware, are an absolute bitch to attempt to travel in.
Well, to run.
Well, just travel in general, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, it is one of the Boondocks tells if a woman is a hoe or not. If she's a hoe, then she can't run in heels. If she can run in heels, then she's a hoe.
I am the swarm. We are without limit.
I don't get that. Isn't that two affirmatives?
No. That all because in the Boondocks they acknowledge that the hoes be out there. They're looking for you. They want your money. But that's why you got to distinguish them between hoes and real women. And that's why you got to do several tests. Like if the lady is constantly looking over her shoulder for her pimp.
You see, that is a true identifier of a hoe for me, but like...
I said, because they said that only hoes can run in heels.
Alright, so, here we have the fight against Kraith. Well, we would be if you could actually kill us, Kraith, but you can't, because that is Kraith's only threatening attack. And you'll notice
and he missed.
And not only did he miss, you'll notice how much telegraphing it actually had on it.
Well, yeah, if you fought this guy before.
There is him doing the charge that spawns a bunch of Zerglings. Notice that I just sat Kerrigan in front of him for it.
Yep. And
that Hydralisk has taken
unharmed.
2 charges and not died. Like, seriously, Kraith is a joke. They should have buffed Kraith, to be perfectly honest.
Well, they wanted you to get used to the new abilities. You have the ability to overextend a little bit with a squad, because you can just heal them no matter what happens.
And now our squad is fully healed because of the transition.
Your queen listens. Boldly.
Oh look, Dahaka gave us an Ultralisk.
Arrives. They will break your enemies.
And as Pasgird is mentioning, getting the last relic is a bit of a bitch because it's on the northern end of the map, and Kerrigan has to travel up against a bunch of Ravasors alone. Also, this is where Sylvan's broodlings start to show up in mass.
They're gonna blow.
The world is mine.
Ravasor fights with acid. Bring it down quickly.
I'm a trying, Dahaka.
Poof. I will make beef stew out of you.
Make your peace.
And leap.
You die.
Unfortunately, Kerrigan's Sleeping Strike doesn't actually one-shot Ravasaurs, so...
Yeah.
We are without limit.
That would have been too easy.
It's honestly the mechanic that it should have been, to be perfectly honest. I mean, yes, it would have been too easy, but it's it makes it so that the Leaping Strike gets to show off a little bit more about how effective it can be in combat scenarios. As it is, it's like, oh, I can leap through a target and deal a decent amount of damage to it, but it's not likely to kill it because Ravasaurs are effectively just slightly more buff Hydralisks.
I think the lesson here is, yes, Kerrigan is more powerful, and this is the first level we're playing as new Kerrigan, but she's not perfect.
Well, that's mostly because there are no units in StarCraft or StarCraft 2 that are perfect. I mean, the Hydralisk is as perfect as units get in StarCraft. It's high damage, it's relatively cheap, it attacks both ground and air, and it's somewhat mobile. Yeah, the Hydralisk is as perfect as units get in StarCraft.
Yeah.
I would go so far as to argue that Zerg being the most competitive race makes sense to me, but the reason why Zerg is the most competitive race does not. But then again, this is coming from a guy that comes a majority in his childhood from Age of Empires 2, where horse archers were just literally the best unit. And any of the civilizations that got to max out their horse archers were just factually the best unit to play in the game casually, because although it took forever because we didn't know what the fuck we were doing, once we actually got there, we were effectively invulnerable.
Nice.
No, they're Ultralisk. This map also introduces us to the Zerosian Thrasher, which it would eventually turn into the sunken colony that Amon Swarm had. Kerrigan never gets access to the sunken colony. She has to replace it with spine crawlers, which are the reverse of a sunken colony. But yes, in the next part, Betrayal. Be safe, everybody.
A predictable betrayal.
A very predictable betrayal. Not Abathur. Abathur is a nice slug.